Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tara and I am a senior at Florida International University in Miami, Florida, studying marketing and international business, and in honor of the Victoria's Secret Pink Campus Representative applications opening up for this upcoming 2022 to 2023 school year, I decided to create a video for everything that the Victoria's Secret Pink Rep program embodies, as well as a Q&A session because I am a Victoria's Secret Pink Campus Rep for the school year, which has been beyond amazing. I have a previous video kind of showing some highlights of what it's like being a rep, as I was able to go to Arizona. I've been recognized as top 10 within our program. I get incentive goodies paid weekly, everything that you could want in a position Pink offers. So I can't wait to kind of explain the breakdown of everything a Pink Campus Rep is and what it embodies, and I hope you enjoy this video. The first thing that I want to talk about regarding the Pink Campus Rep program is just basically what the position is. So I'm gonna look down a lot because I have my phone here with like my notes, but I just don't want to miss any points. But basically, a Pink Campus representative is hired for Pink to, of course, represent the brand on campus, which is such a cool experience in its own world. You're sent clothing to wear, you create events, so if you love event planning, this is a really cool opportunity. You're very social media based, and what's really cool about it is there's no limitations, as there's no limitations to what year you are, except if you're going to be graduating, unfortunately. You don't have to have a specific major. My co-rep at the university is a psychology major, and a lot of people have this misconception that you have to have a marketing major, you have to have a communications PR major. That is totally not true. So to stump that rumor, I'm gonna stop it there. I promise you, as long as you have a passion for creating content, social media, event planning, whatever your heart desires, you can find within this position. And the worst thing that you do is get a no. But the best thing is to apply and see what happens anyways, because you should never fear the unknown, and you should always put yourself in new ways and new experiences, because some really awesome things could come out of it. The next topic that I want to cover is basically the position responsibilities. Now, I kind of briefly already touched on what your responsibilities entail, but the biggest thing is representing the brand in a positive and uplifting manner. Pink is a company that embodies happiness, body positivity, inclusivity, purpose. We have all of these pillars, and it's really important to touch on these things because you're representing the company not only because you want to, but there's also a reason behind why you're so passionate, and Pink loves seeing that passion. And if you're applying to be on the Pink team in previous semesters, that's another thing that your co-reps and are going to be looking for, because we want to see that drive, we want to see that passion. It is a really big part of the role. Additionally, you're going to be managing the social media channels for your school, which includes and is not limited to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Those are the main three pillars, but then you also have Twitter and any other accounts that you might have sub-owned for different platforms, whether that's scheduling platforms and planning platforms. There's a lot of different apps that you might be using throughout your experience, because you want to make sure that it is as smooth as possible and as efficient as possible. In addition to social media, you're going to be doing a lot of event planning, and you want to make sure those events are going to be popular. So finding the marketing that works on your campus and working out the different kinks that go along with it, because A big thing with this program is a lot of trial and error, but that's okay because you're not going to learn from those experiences without having some maybe not as satisfying outcomes, but you're also going to have a lot of really exciting outcomes. Our first, not our first event, our second really, but first official big event from the fall semester, we ended up getting the top 3 schools in the performance of it because we had such a big crowd. It rained. It was a whole thing. I'll insert pictures of us being absolutely soaked from the rain. Thank you, Florida. It is a lie about the Sunshine State sometimes, but we have to make do, and we did, and it was still a really amazing outcome. So in addition to just the general social media and event planning, you also have to be a good problem solver. You have to be detail oriented, knowing what to do in situations, and be a natural leader, because these are characteristics that come really important not only in the PINK rep program but just in general, and those are definitely things you should touch up on and improve for success in your future. The next big thing that I want to cover is qualifications. There's a lot of people that think that there's a bunch of different qualifications that come with being a campus rep, but there really aren't too many, and they're really achievable requirements. So starting with the biggest thing, because, and I'm going to reference this in terms of this year's application, if you're watching this in another year, just the dates will be a little different, but right now we are currently in the 2021-2022 school year, and applications are open for the 2022 to 2023 academic year. The biggest thing is that you cannot be graduating until spring 2023 or later. The reason being is you can't leave halfway through your process, because obviously you want to make sure that you're fulfilling your role. It is like a paid position, and you are hired by PINK to be within this responsibility. So unfortunately, it is a role that you will have to fulfill for an entire school year, and it's usually from July to June. So I found out much earlier. I found out around April of spring 2021, and I started my position summer 2021 in July. So just keep those things in mind. And in addition to that, and kind of in the same way that you can't be gone, you also cannot study abroad. I know for some people this might be a big deal, but for a lot of people it's not too big of an issue. But if you do plan on studying abroad, doing a national exchange program, or just doing anything like an internship or something that's gonna leave you far away from your campus community, that unfortunately will not be something that qualifies you. Oh, you have to be eligible to work in the United States or acquire a work visa. I know that we have international students within the program currently, so I don't know too much about the details regarding that, but I know that we do have international students. So if you're an international student and worried that you can't apply, the worst thing that you do is you just apply. I encourage you to still apply, and they can kind of help guide you in terms of your eligibility purposes, but it's not a problem to just go ahead and apply, because you're not wasting anyone's time. You're simply just putting yourself out there, and you know, best case scenario, it's totally fine. I believe that summarizes all of the qualifications. I'm trying to think of anything else, but I really can't touch on too much. If I forget something, I'll insert it, but I think we're good on qualifications. Like I said, not a lot. There's not a GPA requirement. There's not a major requirement. There's really not a lot of limitations when it comes to applying for this role. I think a big thing people want to know is the position perks and the general benefits of this position. And when I say there's a lot, there is a lot. And it is such a great thing. I love it so much. Every day I'm grateful for this role, because I am countlessly sent packages full of goodies. This was something I was sent in addition to matching shorts. Like, Whew, I lost my balance. But point being, there are so many goodies that you get sent in addition to collaborations with other companies. So you're not always being sent just pink things. I've been sent Uggs, 2 pairs of Uggs actually. I've been sent AirPods, Apple AirPods. I know in the past they've been sent iPads and Apple Pencils, tripods. I've been sent gift cards to places. I've been sent collaborations with special limited edition collections. Oh gosh, there's just so many. I've been sent a facial steamer from Dr. Grossier, not Grossier, Dr. Gross or something. So many things. I've been sent a Fujifilm camera. I mean, the list really goes on and on. Some of these things are for incentives, for rewards, for getting different recognition. So if, for example, we got sent some goodies for getting that top 3 position for our event, we were sent to Arizona. So travel is also a big perk. I don't know what the training plan is. In the past, they've sent their reps for their annual brand training, which happens in the summer, to Ohio, which is where their headquarters is. We weren't able to do that this year, and the reps from last year were also not able to do that due to COVID, but we were given this amazing, humongous box filled with super cool things that went along with our virtual training. I don't know if that's going to be returning, but even if it doesn't, you'll still have opportunities for travel incentive trips because we lucked out and we were able to go to Arizona, which was super fun and forever memorable. Once again, if you want to see that vlog, it is on my channel, so I definitely highly recommend checking it out. What else? Well, that's really the coverage in terms of what you're gonna be getting from Pink, because I mean that alone is already a huge perk. Huge perk. But other perks, you get paid bi-weekly, so you get paid for 8 hours of work, and it is $11 an hour. I don't know if that's going to change, but that is the incentive at the moment. So bi-weekly payment, which is amazing. I love it. It's grown a lot in this program because it used to not be paid and now it is, which is super fun and a really cool perk of this program. In addition to the payment and free goodies and travel, I mean those 3 are huge. What more could you want, really? I mean it's like a dream position. Another thing is you also get connections and networking. So we have trainings, we have workshops, we have Q&A sessions where we're able to virtually talk to really high up people, both within the Pink team company and also just with other really cool companies. We've talked to the Sad Girls Club, we've talked to the CEO of Pink. I mean, there's so many things. And you also have a say in different future launches, so they'll ask you about opinions on packaging, and you can give your opinions and rankings and basically put your 2 cents in, because eventually you're going to see those things happen in store and you can think to yourself, oh my gosh, I remember seeing this before anyone else. I remember giving my input. It's super cool. It's kind of like a little club and I love it so much. And that is, I mean, that's like all the incentives, but oh my gosh, it's so many perks, so many benefits. I just can't emphasize it enough. Apply, apply, apply. Now that I've covered the basis of what a Victoria's Secret Pink Campus representative is, does, the perks, everything beautiful about that, I'm sure you're wondering about the application process. Well, the application process is a 3-parter. So you're first going to have your initial application, which is the one that's currently open till January 31st. So if you haven't applied yet, make sure to put that application in soon. That's where you highlight your passion, your experiences. You have limited character count, so make sure to make those sentences really, really strong and powerful because you only have so much room to lay out your feelings and lay out your thoughts, which is really tough in the moment, but you'll get through it. And basically just everything that embodies pink, you fill that out and you submit it, and the sooner you submit, the sooner you'll know in terms of if you've made it into round 2, and you kind of wait a little bit and then you'll find out if you made it into round 2. Round 2, I remember I had to submit by like the 2nd week of February, if I'm not mistaken. I waited pretty last minute to apply, not because I wasn't going to, I just was really nervous. I was very, very nervous and I wanted to make sure my answers were perfect. So I took a long time to submit that first initial application, but once I did, I found out like a week or 2 later that I had made it into the 2nd round. And again, the timeline is different for everyone. So I do want to emphasize that different schools, different students, and different people are going to hear from in different timelines. So your timeline might not line up exactly the same, but the deadlines are usually around the same time. Now the 2nd round is a mood board or a vision board. And you're just creating a vision board that kind of represents you as a person, what you like, what your personality's like, in a graphic and really cute visual way. I think it's such a fun idea, and it's different because it kind of is so contrastedly that's not even a word, so different in contrast to the first round, which is much more just cue question based, and that's about it. Whereas the second one is a little bit more to your discretion, and it's much more subjective. So just take the time to think about who you are as a person. It's also a great way to find more about yourself. You could ask friends what they think of when they think of you, and those could help you with different elements to your vision board. But if you don't know how to do a vision board, they do include a little bit of a video, which I'm not going to say anything, but I'm very excited to see the person creating that board, because I know she created the video instructions and I'm very excited for her. But you'll have an instruction video explaining how that works, and that's pretty much all you need to know regarding the vision board. And after you submit that, this is where the waiting game really kicks in, because I can't give you a date estimate whatsoever. It really, really varies. But for me, I found out a month later, like on the dot. So I submitted my mood board, I think February 15th, and I got an email March 15th about doing an interview the following week. So it was very fast paced once I got that 3rd round invite. And I did a Skype interview the week after, and I think for me, the interview was kind of natural. I had a really sweet girl as my interviewer, and she asked me really fun questions, you know, just about my experience on being on the pink team, which is not required, but definitely encouraged to be on the pink team on your campus before applying. But if you haven't, that's okay. Once again, in that initial application, highlight your experiences and why you think that would make an impact. Your hard skills, anything that you do in addition to college. It's really cool to just see your personality and your experiences come alive in writing. So don't be discouraged if you don't have certain experiences that other people do. I really can't go into too much detail about the actual questions that I was asked, but I can tell you that they are interview-based questions, nothing that I would have been thrown at me and been completely oblivious and unsure of how to answer to. I wouldn't expect anything crazy, but you know, just prepare yourself on general interview questions and highlight your personality and passion within those interview sessions, and that's really important. And the interview is the last part of the application, so it's just a 3-parter, and then after you do your interview, it's another waiting game. That is truly the biggest unestimated time that you might hear back, because some schools might hear back a lot sooner than you, and then other schools might not find out until like the deadline. And they will give you this very large window of when you might hear back, so it really, really varies. But the fact that you made it to the interview round, in just the second round, just a round of applause to you in general for applying. But if you made it to any other round, I mean, pat yourself on the back, because that's a huge accomplishment regardless of the outcome. And just putting yourself out there in the first initial application is a really big deal, and I'm proud of you for doing that when you do it. And once again, you should go apply. I really, really cannot encourage you more. I really hope this video helps in that sense. The final thing I am going to cover is frequently asked questions, Q&A. I asked on my Instagram 2 different times to collect some questions about just like frequently asked questions that I didn't already cover later or earlier in this video. So if I already covered it, then you can just rewatch the video for those details. But let's see the questions that I was asked. The first question that I was asked is, what's something that you look for in each applicant? Like I said in the application process and just qualifications, there really isn't one specific thing that Pink is looking for, but a really big thing to keep in mind is that you want to be showcasing you as a person in the most genuine and best way. Of course, you want to highlight your personality as well as your experiences and what makes you you, as well as your passion, your drive, your motivation, and your love for Pink. The next question I was asked is, what are the requirements? Again, I mentioned that in the section about qualifications, but like I said earlier, all you have to do is not be graduating until spring 2023 or later. You have to be active for both fall and spring of that academic year. You can't study abroad, and you need to be eligible to work in the United States, but that's really it. There's not a lot of requirements with the position, but once you are in the position, there are requirements that you'll have to obtain, but those are explained in training. A big question that was asked is what the time commitment of it is on a weekly basis. You are paid for 8 hours a week. However, it's really what you make of it. You're expected to do 8 hours, but my co-rep and I, there are weeks that we do much more than 8 hours worth of work, and there's some weeks that we just do 8, and sometimes not even 8, but very rarely. It really just depends on how much effort you want to put into the role. I highly recommend doing at least the 8 and more, because even though you're only getting paid for the 8, it's really important that you're showing that effort within your role, because it pays back in a lot of different ways in the future, and it's just a really great way to show the team your love for the company and the role. Another thing with time commitment that I was asked is how I juggle time. It's hard sometimes, I won't deny it. This past semester, I was president of my business fraternity. I was being a rep. I worked 20 hours a week as a student marketing assistant on campus, and I am a full-time student in my senior year. So just between that, it was a lot to manage, and especially going from a job where I previously only worked like up to 10 to 12 hours, it was a really big shift balancing the time. But thankfully my job is on campus, so I was able to be more flexible with switching my hours when we had events or photo shoots. And I also was very transparent with my co-rep. You do have a co-rep, and take that advantage as each other's resources and being each other's rocks, because there's going to be times that one of your co-reps or your co-rep is going to have to do things that you can't accomplish. And there's going to be times that it's going to be vice versa. That's why you have to be a team, and you need to communicate if you're struggling or if you have a really hard week. I know there was times where I would have to ask my boss for time off because I was really stressed about a multitude of things going on, especially during midterm and finals week. But it really is just a period of learning what works and doesn't work within your schedule and running with that. The last question I was asked is, were you scared to apply, and what made you manage such an amazing opportunity? I know I mentioned it earlier, but I was so scared. I wasn't necessarily scared to apply, but I was scared that I was never gonna get the position ever, because it was my last time applying, and I knew this was my last year that I was eligible for the position, so there was a lot of pressure on me in terms of the application and getting through, because you don't know what happens behind doors when it comes to people reviewing your application. And I just really wanted to make sure people were seeing my application, both my initial one and my mood board, in the same way that I was seeing it. And thankfully it worked. Managing this opportunity, in terms of that, it's just a lot about time management and also finding time for yourself to recuperate. For me, this winter break has been amazing because I've spent the time that I could to catch up on projects for Pink, as well as non-Pink related things that were hovering over my head this past semester that I never got a chance to work on. So staying on top of things, time management, finding time for yourself, finding time for your passions outside of Pink and Pink, because you don't want to push things aside either, and just working out what is best for you and your mental health. I hope this video helped you. I know I'm hoping it's not as long as it is in my head, because in my head it's a little long, but with the magic of editing, my editing wand, hopefully it's not too long. But I really encourage you to apply. I can't emphasize it enough. And if you ever have any questions about the application process or anything I might not have covered in this video, feel free to DM me on Instagram at Tara123cat, or you can also email the Pink support address that can help kind of cover any questions you might have about the application process itself. But I, again, wish you the best of luck with this season of applications. I know you're going to do amazing things, and I hope you have the most amazing semester ahead. Have a great year, and let's manifest all of the good vibes, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!